Yeah, very welcome to you, my dear Aquarius. The sun is in Capricorn. Capricorn is the conditioning that we gotten because it's the darkest month. And so the sun, which is the innocence, is giving the light to the moon. The moon is the past lives, or are the past lives, right? And you are connected with the moon, Pisces, right? And so understand that here maybe the past lives might just come up and tell you something. You are ruled by Neptune. Neptune is are the dreams and your mind, and in Osho Zen Tarot it's the new vision that you are aiming at. And you are the Knight of Cups, which is here the trust. You are trusting the love, right? This pink cloud. If your birthday is between February 8th and March 11, then is he your court card? If not, look in the description below. I have listed them all there. As a Pisces, you are the dreamer because of Neptune, and you are the 12th zodiac sign, and as such connected to the 12th house of spirituality and art. Then the yoga position for Capricorn, dancer pose. Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. Saturn in the tarot is the world. So when we want to achieve something, dance yourself up that ladder. Don't work. And then here the moon is, of course, fish pose, upward, downward facing dog. And the moon, we know, are our feelings and our subconscious. So really important to know that. Back to the last reading. Everything is cyclical, so we include the last reading, where Sagittarius Sun gave Pisces Moon the light. Pluto in Aquarius said we had there the big title because on November 19th Pluto moved into Aquarius for good for 20 years. And the message was the sun and moon will become your guides. And usually I look if there is a reoccurring card coming, so that we maybe have to look at that a little closer, why it is coming up again. And I do not see a card coming back. And as such, we can begin the reading. Yeah, the sun and moon will become your guides, was the message back then. So we begin. We begin with you as a court card. That's your physicalness here. And the first thing that is coming here is the Knight of Pentacles. That's Virgo. She or he is the 6th zodiac sign, so half of you and opposite of you. Virgo gives you meaning, the opposite, right? Duality. So the 12 and the 6 is the 18, and so the moon is coming up, right? Subconscious. In your subconscious, you understand that you gotta slow down, like this turtle, and we're going to the left, to your new moon, which you have in your second next reading. And you see that here this turtle is letting you know that when we go to the left, right, when we look at it, it's to the left, but when we become it, it's to the right. So the 18 turns into a 9. And the 9 is important because the 9 brings you completion. A completion of knowing that now you can take your time. What is Virgo wanting to tell you? The 6 of Cups is coming here to you, and that's Sun in Scorpio. And Sun in Scorpio is that moment where we feel we get a glimpse into the past, and you see 1 cup here, 1 cup here between these two people, and 4 cups here. So here we have a 6-6 portal, plus you, right? And you, I bring you into the 3, that's the Empress, that's Venus, because we want to come to a single digit number. So the work is to create between the 1 and the 2, or the 10 and the 2, the union of the 3. And the union of the 3 is here between these 3, right? The cup and the 2 people. And you understand that you are trusting here this process, that love needs to go slow sometimes, that a certain love is never affected by anything. You know, like, if you love someone, it's kind of like they can do so many mistakes, so many things that hurt you. In the end, you know that forgiving, which is the word giving inside, you're giving back what never belonged to you. And so there's an interesting combination going on here. What is the Mother Peace Tarot saying? It's bringing you the 8 of Wands to the left. And the 8 of Wands is pointing here at the 6 of Cups. And so it's almost saying here, this Virgo is bringing really quickly this arrow of love towards you, is shooting down, right? It's coming down. This love is coming down, like electricity is coming down, even though it goes very slow. This is very fast. It's very interesting. There is this, like, out of the slowness in the way you love someone or have loved someone in the past, you are noticing something is going to happen really quick. So the 8, and here the 3 is the 11. So here's the 6-6 and the 11, a portal, right? 2 portals, the 6-6 portal and the 1-1 portal. So observe how that makes you feel. This is Mercury in Sagittarius, and Sagittarius back then said the Sun and Moon will become your guides. So this is water and this is earth, and here's fire. Trust the process. There is something wanting to talk to you. Now the 6 and the 8 is the 14, and that's Sagittarius, that's Temperance, and the 5 is left. But also here the 8 and the 6 is again a 14 and the 5 is left. So in a way we could also create here a 5-5 portal. The 5 senses, right? Through the 5 senses you are learning something important here. Good, then we look into Neptune. What is Neptune wanting to tell you? The Hangman, the new vision, and the first thing that comes here is the Liberator. And because the Hangman goes in hanging down, right? So we're using the shadow side, and here the Liberator says, imposing your own tyranny over those you claim to liberate, ignoring legitimate constraints. In the light attributes, it's freeing yourself and others from outmoded beliefs, releasing negative thought patterns. So you are learning something quite extraordinary, to be not in the dual, right? That's what the 2 is. The 2 is always that, well, now I have the solution to your problem, and because I have the solution to your problem, now I have control over you. And that's not going to work, right? So again, we have a 3 here, and here we have the understanding that you as a liberator need to observe why you want to liberate someone. Maybe they need to liberate themselves, because no one else can do it but yourself. What is coming here from your deck? The Nine of Pentacles. And the 9 and the 3 again is a 12. So you have to go through this cycle to mature, to understand something. And then again, the 3 and the 9 is the 12. You are seeing Neptune from a new perspective. You are aiming into a new vision. And you have become mature about that cycle. Beautiful, right? It makes you understand how important it is that we see that we're not taking away these difficulties from someone, because he grows through that. He comes into maturity, and so you have to understand that this is also for you a message. What is the mother piece her bringing? The Four of Wands upright, which is Venus in Aries. And so you had 8 wands and 4 wands. 8 and 4 is again a 12, right? You have the 12 as a sign for the new vision. Connect with this new vision, because here the 3 and the 4 is the 7. Have the emotional intelligence to understand that the 9 is a number that gives itself up. And so you're learning here something profound. The 3 and the 4, the 7 and the 9 is the 16. The 16 is the Tower. So let go of this, right? If you are a liberator, then just do it because you want to liberate yourself and not someone else. Do it in such a way that you inspire the other person to see how you did it for yourself, but don't impose it onto someone else. And then you can celebrate here, right? These women celebrate their first day of period. And this is a very cool way of showing the Four of Wands, right? Usually it's like the marriage, and of course now they're ready to get married, basically, but it's kind of like letting you know. So you can here with the 9 and the 4 create the 13. That's the biggest transformation there is. And out of it, the 4 comes again as that maturity that the 9 brings. Beautiful. So learn from these cards to do things in a way that they are not invasive, right? Really clear. Then the moon. The moon is bringing you the woodwives, the adaptability, the 64, which is a 10. So here the 18 is a 9, the 9 and the 10 is the 19. That's the sun, and the sun is in Capricorn, right? The sun, the innocence, to know that you have now gained an adaptability through the 9, through the ripeness. After the 9 comes the 10. And yes, there is a 6, that's self-love. There is a 4, that's the 4 elements, but that's also the heart. Self-love, right, comes from deep within when you understand that. And so here the woodwives, the adaptability is bringing you an understanding that the 19 is again a 10. The 10, a new cycle can begin. What is coming from Capricorn? He's bringing you the King of Pentacles. And the King of Pentacles is Taurus. He's a visionary. He sees the things that we sometimes don't see in sense of duality, money, right? He is reliable. He's someone that if he says he does it, he's there. And so he's the number 2. So the 10 and the 2 is again a 12. So you're coming up here again. The 12. The 12 turns into a 3. The 3 and the 9. The 12. The 3 is left. Now what is the King of Pentacles bringing you? He's bringing you the Empress. The 3 that comes out of the 12. Venus, the morning star, the evening star. You are realizing something here, right? The 10, the 2, the 3, the 15. And the 15, remember, that's the conditioning of here. The Capricorn energy that is coming through the sun at us, right? And we think there is negative, evil things, but there's just conditionings. And through conditionings, we do things that are not always so great, right? And here, of course, the liberator is that one that says, well, I need to liberate you from your conditionings, but the person needs to liberate itself. He needs to realize, I'm not a sheep, I'm actually a lion here. And so the 15, the 6 is left, self-love, right? This is the hexagram. So know that the message is quite clear. What is Venus saying? Venus is bringing you the High Priestess. Look at you. So here we have a 2 and here a 2. There's a 22. That's Uranus. That's the Fool. Be foolish enough to say, well, I can do this, right? Because then altogether we have a 17. And the 17 is Aquarius. And Aquarius said, the Sun and Moon will become your guides. So here you see the Moon is becoming your guide in your deepest subconscious to find adaptability in the way the finances and in the way this Taurus is coming to you, in the way the Empress is coming to you, in the way here the High Priestess is coming to you. And the High Priestess here is very interesting. She has this dark energy underneath her. What is that, right? If you look at it, you see there is like a person sitting there, and it's quite mysterious. It's really like off, kind of. But she is duality. She is holding the book of yin and yang. And she is the one that knows that everything is dual. So the 22 is powerful because that's the Fool. That's Uranus, the planet of revolution, evolution, new beginnings. And it's kind of like this is the last card. This is the 10, also a new beginning. And so the 17 turns into an 8. The 8 is the strength that we need to overcome certain conditionings. Remember that, right? We've been conditioned by our parents because they didn't know better. But now we can learn. We can learn more and more how this planet and how the universe is functioning. And now the secret is coming. Your intuition is coming more and more. And so the 17 is then the 8, the strength that you gain through it. Now what is coming from the Mother Piece Tarot? The Ace of Cups, slightly to the left. And to the left, it's kind of pointing down here to the 2 women, right? The Empress and the High Priestess. Here we have the Moon and here we have Venus. And so it's almost like it's pointing over to the 5. Again, the 5 senses. Allow the 5 senses to liberate you, because particularly here, the love aspect, the 1, right? So we had the 8 left, plus 1 is the 9. And the 9, you know, is then a maturity, a ripeness that knows how these things functions, right? And so you see the Ace of Cups. He is jumping into the cup, like you are jumping here into the pink cloud. It's the same position. Look at that. It's crazy. So since it's slightly reverse and facing to the left, it's almost like you're not yet trusting this love. Maybe with the Taurus, right? Or maybe here with the Virgo. But it's not the Virgo, because this is where you have come up, and this is more a state of consciousness of like, well, you got to slow down, right? That's what it's bringing. Here it's kind of like pointing over to him, and out of him came the Empress and the High Priestess, right? And so there is something saying, hey, observe, right? The 22 and the 3 is the 25. The 25, the emotional intelligence, plus the 1, the 26. The 26, the 8. The 8 and the 10, the 18. You are coming up. And again, you had to go through all these stages to awaken to the fact that you can jump here into this cup. That you can trust yourself. trust who you are deep down and envision that. Envision that, because that's where you learn to become who you meant to be. Amazing, right? And so the 10 and the 1 is the 11, a portal. Plus the 2, that's the 13, again the transformation, right? And then the 4 is left, the 4 and the 9, again the 13, the transformation, you coming out of it. The 13, the 4 is left, the 4, and here the 5 is the 9. You are learning something. This is what is talking to me the most. You are learning something. You have to go through all these difficult things, right? Sometimes we say, why did all of this happen? Well, sometimes we're going to go around. That's what the 9 is, but the 9 gives itself up to arrive at the maturity to understand, that's why I cannot be the liberator. Some people, even loved ones, need to go through difficult energies, right? And you have here, remember, in the past, something that has spoken, and things are happening fast. Mercury in Sagittarius, right? And of course, Venus in Aries, right? These are the 12 wands that create the new vision. And then there's a 33. And the 33 is a portal that brings you the mastery of how you do things. And I think you gotta learn to do things really lovingly. Just trust that dive, that deep dive, because here the 12 and here the 1 is the 13 again. Again, you're learning. You're learning something. You're learning to trust. You're learning to trust your instincts. You're learning to trust your intuition. That's what the High Priestess brings. And the Empress, right? She gives birth to a new you, the 3 and the 3 here, the 33. But understand that you come into a stability, you come into a 4-4 here, that you know very clearly, now I can celebrate my new ripeness, my new awareness, my new understanding of how this life here functions. So I hope I see you in the next reading. That's when we get the sun in Aquarius. Aquarius came through the 17, right? And so we will see what Aquarius is going to bring through the sun. Until then, I thank you so much for being with me. Namaste.